It's often said that you can find yourself down the rabbit hole whenever you spend time researching big hypotheticals and alternate theories. Sometimes it's pretty fun down there, and sometimes it's a little bit frightening. But really, it's black holes that represent the ultimate rabbit hole in actual physical existence. These are truly massive openings in space itself, and it's a one-way ticket for anything that enters them. If you were to fall down the rabbit hole of a black hole, then you ain't coming back. These enigmatic cosmic objects are often characterized as ruthless monsters that devour everything in their vicinity. Nevertheless, they've long captured the imagination of scientists and space enthusiasts alike. In general, black holes are formed from the remnants of massive stars breaking under their own gravity. When massive enough stellar cores exhaust their nuclear fuel, they undergo a collapse so dramatic that the gravitational force involved becomes so intense that it warps space-time. Eventually, it's a process that creates a specific region from which nothing can escape. In the structure of the resulting black hole, this point of no return is ultimately known as the event horizon. Not all black holes are equal, though. There are various types, including stellar black holes, which again result from the collapse of massive stars, but also supermassive black holes. These are usually found at the centers of most galaxies, including at the heart of our own Milky Way. The formation of supermassive black holes is a little less set in stone, with theories ranging from them being produced when a tightly knit star cluster collapses, or when other, smaller black holes merge together. Overall, the estimated number of black holes in the observable universe is vast, ranging from tens of millions to possibly multiple billions or more, depending on the model and method used to calculate. Given that there are so many unknowns swirling around these immense celestial structures, it's perhaps unsurprising that black holes have become a magnet for outlandish ideas. But actually, the one at the top of today's video, the idea that black holes could also be portals, isn't really so radical or off the wall. For decades, theoretical physicists have suggested that they might also be gateways to other dimensions or even parallel universes. So how would such cosmic connections unfold? In one sense, the key word is wormhole. Much more than a glittering highway in our favorite science fiction movie, wormholes are genuinely hypothetical tunnels in space-time that could connect two separate points in the universe. Proposed within the framework of Albert Einstein's general relativity, they're often visualized as bridges. More directly, the Einstein-Rosen bridge is a specific type of wormhole that also works as a shortcut through the fabric of space. In general, it's said that that fabric, otherwise known as space-time, could be manipulated so that 2 points even light years away could be brought together. It's often demonstrated by marking 2 points on a piece of paper, folding that paper in half so that the points match, and piercing a pencil through both. In a pretty primitive sense, that's a wormhole. And that's what some have said could be happening inside a black hole. We of course know that any matter that falls into a black hole is apparently lost forever. Given that black holes themselves will eventually disappear as well, this is a problem, known as the information paradox, that has long puzzled researchers because quantum mechanics says that nothing can be totally lost. However, if black holes were portals, then the information paradox is solved, because any and all matter and information that falls into one is then set to re-emerge out of it somewhere else. In some models, this exit at the other side is known as a white hole, but more on that shortly. First, there's the holographic principle to consider as well. This, again, rests on the quantum reality that information of any kind should never be lost. Only here, the explanation for what apparently happens in black holes is slightly different. The holographic principle proposes that the information inside is somehow encoded on the event horizon in a two-dimensional form. Some theorists then suggest that at this stage, the information that was once physical matter could be transferred to, or at least imprinted onto, another plane. So here, again, a black hole would work something like a portal. Perhaps not in the more traditional wormhole sense, but it would still represent a checkpoint between here and there, wherever there is. Still, the concept of white holes is key. While black holes devour matter, white holes theoretically expel it. They are imagined regions of space-time into which nothing can enter, but out of which matter and energy can freely and rapidly exit. Whether it's fueled by the holographic principle or propped up by a relatively simple wormhole, The discovery of a white hole would be the smoking gun moment for all theories toward black holes being portals. The problem is that so far, there are no white holes that we know about. Nevertheless, many theorists remain confident. The reason why has to do with how we answer the related question, where do black holes lead? The possibilities are not only as vast as the universe itself, but also as wide and unending as the multiverse. So much so that it could be that no black hole leads to another point in this universe, and that's why we have no white holes to speak of. Instead, all black holes funnel their matter into a different universe, and black holes themselves are therefore the key infrastructure to how the multiverse works. It could be that they foster connections between us and parallel universes with entirely different physical laws, or alternate planes made up of multiple extra dimensions beyond our own. Such a radical rethinking of how the universe works more than stretches the boundaries of our current scientific knowledge. It essentially destroys everything we thought we knew. For some, it's a possibility that ties all the way back to the beginning of matter itself, the Big Bang. For decades, the Big Bang theory has been the leading model to explain how the universe came to be. But discussion of it is always overshadowed by one seemingly crucial problem. If everything came from the rapid expansion of one singularity, as the Big Bang says, then where did that one singularity come from in its first form? How did something come from nothing? Well, what if the Big Bang was actually a white hole? In fact, what if it still is a white hole in action? While highly speculative, increasing numbers have begun to debate the possibility that actually the entire universe is merely the product of the exit point of a black hole portal, one that was opened up around 13.8 billion years ago to our minds. This exit point, a massive white hole, can account for literally everything we know about, for our physical reality, and for its continued expansion from that point onwards. Could it even be that it's an irresistible force of an expelling white hole that's powering universal expansion in general? Questions like these aren't yet mainstream, but the allure of white holes has gotten plenty of people wondering. So what's your verdict? What do you think happens on the inside of a black hole?